for an entertainment company that's basing so much of its future on its streaming platforms, things have not been going good on that front. As you can see, the numbers from their last earnings call, they lost nearly 12 million subscribers. That was also accounted for around $800 million in lost revenue for the streaming platform. And there was also since been calls for boycotts after it was announced that they're going to be raising the prices for the second time within a year and cracking down on password sharing. There's also some more terrible for Disney when it comes to their streaming services, because they're going to be paying another $9 billion or roughly $9 billion to Comcast for their 33% share of Hulu, which doesn't make sense to me because Disney already has complete operational control over Hulu because they have 2/3 share of it. So I don't really understand why they're doing this, but more business savvy people than me would probably say that, yeah, this is actually a good move on them. But either way, it looking like that there's trouble with them and they don't really know what to do and they're just trying to spend their way out of it. And that's something that can't be had for long, but they're also trying to do these weird maneuvers in order to actually get people to subscribe to their platform. I mean, the end of the fiscal year is coming up and they don't want to come to their investors in another quarterly earnings call and saying that they lost more subscribers. So they're doing weird moves like this to try to say get people to actually subscribe to their platform. I mean, even though they're basically giving away the subscriptions to it, I mean, it's basically so they can report good numbers at people coming to their platform, which is obviously a desperate move, but it might pay off for them and they might get some more subscribers, even though they're still not going to be gaining any money from this. I guess they're hoping that after the 3 months expires that people will forget to cancel it and they can get money that way, which is actually a business model for some people. Now the latest news coming out of it though is saying that The Little Mermaid draws 16 million views on Disney Plus, which is kind of an ambitious thing considering that this is a movie that bombed at the box office, but I'll get to more of that in a little bit right now. So jumping down into this article, just kind of talks about the actual movie itself when it came out in last May, but this is the interesting part right here. To count the number of views, Disney divides the total viewing time by its runtime, which is the same process that it used to recently assess the early streaming numbers for the premiere episode of a Star Wars series, Ahsoka. So that actually sounds good. You get how many views on, you get the viewing time and then, the viewing time of the show divided by how many, actual view time for this was. So you get the number of views on total. I mean, if that makes any sense, but in a way though, that's also kind of deceptive because it's hindering on the fact that you're trusting them that the total viewing time is accurate, which we don't actually know as an audience member. I mean, but one thing we do know is they said this is what they used to assess the Star Wars series Ahsoka. And then the first few days of that being premiered, they said it got 14 million views or something like that. But if you look at Samba TV, which is a third-party site that has their own methodology to actually measuring the success, they said it only had 1.2 million views. So one of these is, I mean, I'm not saying that these are both, this is the accurate one or Disney is, but I mean, there's quite a large disparity in what's actually happening with these numbers right now, and Disney is probably insisting that no, ours is good, but they also have an incentive to embellish the numbers as much as possible. One thing we do know about Little Mermaid is they're saying that this was highly successful on their Disney Plus platform, but if you actually look at the global box office for the movie while it was in theaters, this isn't good. I mean, in this are numbers that we can actually see from the outside. It's not just having to rely on them, because if you went by what Disney was saying, it would probably say like this is $1 billion movie or something like that. But I mean, we actually have the numbers for this, so we can see that it's not doing good. And people are going to try to say like, well, this was a successful movie, right? I mean, 570 million. It's like, well, it sounds like that on the surface until you take into account that the budget of this was 250 million. They also had a reported, what was it? Yeah, so 250 million to make, 140 million in global marketing spend. So that puts it at $390 million that invested in this movie. Now, keep in mind, movies don't actually get 100% of the box office take. Some overseas places take more of it, other places take less, but on a general rule of thumb, they get around 50% of the box office. So that means you need to double the number that this makes or that the spend was in order to actually be the break-even point, which for this movie would be $780 million that it needs to make globally in order to break even. And that's actually pretty significantly less than that. So we're trying to, or at least according to the numbers that we actually know for a fact, this was a horrible movie that failed miserably at the box office. But when it goes to their platform where they can conceal all the numbers, they're saying, nope, it's fantastic. People love this. People are watching this. And this happens to be on our streaming platform that been losing a lot of subscribers and losing a lot of money. But people apparently really like this one thing. I mean, really? I mean, are we supposed to believe that? I mean, I think they're trying to inflate these numbers in order to try to paint a better picture before the end of the quarter in order to actually appease their investors or whatever. But it really isn't a good look for them. And I mean, it does strike me as kind of desperate, but I'm curious about other things coming out too, because Loki season 2 is supposed to be coming out. And this was something that was fairly popular on the Disney Plus platform. It was strictly only on the Disney Plus platform. So I think this is an interesting thing to watch when it comes out, because we have the numbers, or at least what was the reported numbers from not only Disney, but from third-party sites like Samba TV. When this first came out, at least for the first season, there's no box office comparison or anything like that. It's just this one on the Disney Plus platform. So when the second season comes out, we have a apples to apples comparison on how that does. So, I mean, if this second season is actually significantly better, then maybe there is something to say about Disney Plus actually succeeding or whatever. But I mean, if it's actually much less, then we can see, or at least we can conclude that things have gone way worse for Disney than what they've been letting on. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.